Welcome to Luxuriously Poor, that even if you are extremely poor, you can put a little away for hard times. Now, hard times and being poor seem to come hand in hand because poverty actually creates some pretty hard times. And today that's what I want to talk to you about. I'm going to give you a recipe, but I'm also going to talk to you. It is extremely difficult. I went recently to where I get Sudan hay, and the gentleman there has milk goats, and he offered me a gallon of milk. Now, the hard part behind that is the temperature that day was 110, and I knew I was going to have to take that gallon of milk because he was offering it to me free, and I would have to go home and turn it into cheese right away. And this is what I did. This is goat's cheese. That's a hard decision because it was a very, very hot day and I was extremely tired already. But I made it. This is actually the best cheese for you. Not cheese made with cow's milk, but cheese is made with goat's milk. And I'm going to show you a recipe of what I did with it. Now this is some zucchini. I picked up some zucchini on my way home. This is actually not zucchini. It's what they call Mexican gray squash. And it's cheap. It was 51 cents a pound. And I knew I was going to need it for this particular cheese. Yes, I made the cheese. As you saw, I did. You can make any cheese you want the same way. It is a gallon of milk. You bring it to a boil. You throw a third a cup of vinegar in it, stir it, and it'll curdle up and separate it. You have to separate the liquid from the curds. Now here, I took these zucchini. I do have a video on how to make cheese if you want to go look for it. I show you how to do it. I boiled these for 20 minutes. I don't start counting until the water comes to a boil. I'm taking out the center. As you can see, I'm doing this with a very long, it's a little bit of a serrated knife. It came with the set. I have no clue what this knife is. Some people use a potato peeler to go in there and circle it out. I don't. I just use this particular knife. And I'm going to take the center of each squash. I'm going to take the center out of it. I use a goat cheese to make entomatados. You see how that's empty in there? I use it for enchiladas on beans. Now I'm stuffing this cheese down into each one of these squash. This actually tastes so good. It really does. And because I made the cheese and I got the milk for free, this is extremely inexpensive to me. And when you're poor, this is what you have to do to make ends meet. It's not always fun. It's not always comfortable. Now, I've filled each one of them and I'm dipping them in flour. It helps the egg to stick to it. This is very inexpensive, especially, like I said, if the cheese is free. Like I said, goat cheese is the best, absolute best cheese for you. But I do buy Munster when it's on sale because it's a nice melting cheese. And here I am dipping this into egg whites. I've showed you how to do this before. You just beat up the egg whites, you add the egg yellows, and then whatever fat you use, I use lard. You put it in a skillet and heat it up, and then you can add these squash to this. It's an absolutely wonderful, inexpensive dish. Much more inexpensive since I didn't pay anything for the cheese. I paid $1.61 for these squash. That's right. And the thing of it is that's all it's going to cost me to feed 3 people. $1.61. Like I said, you have to do something sometimes. It's very difficult. In the wintertime, it's easier to make cheese. It just is. It's not as hot. You feel more energetic many times, in the kitchen, heating the kitchen up, because you're cold. So making cheese in the winter isn't quite as bad, but you have no choice. You do what you got to do. There, look at this stuff. Isn't this wonderful? I'm just going to keep doing this, browning each one of these until I'm completely finished. Now the good thing of it is this tastes delicious, and it is extremely good for you. This cheese is goat cheese, like I said. Some people, they eat buffalo cheese, but I couldn't afford that. I can't afford goat cheese at the store. The only way I can afford cheese is if I make it. Now, I put some sopa. It looks kind of dark. It's my camera. You can put whatever you want with it, but that's what I did. I made some sopa. Well, hopefully you can get something yourself for free that can help you make your dinners a little bit cheaper, but delicious and healthy. God bless.